deliberate acts of terrorizing, inhuman lockdown, and military siege faced by the innocent people in the Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir. In recent acts of state terrorism, the Indian occupation forces, during yet another fake encounter and so called cordon and search operation, torched 15 houses and martyred Junaid Ahmed Sehrai, Tariq Ahmed Sheikh, Tahir Ahmed Bhatt, and 12 years old Basim Ijaz in Srinagar and Doda areas. The collective punishment of innocent communities is a further reflection of heartless brutalization of Kashmiri people and tantamounts to war crimes. Pakistan strongly condemns and rejects the Indian government's sinister design to further deprive the people of Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir through the Jammu and Kashmir Grant of Domicile Certificate. This domicile law is aimed at changing the demographic structure of Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir and undermining the exercise by the Kashmiri people of their right to self-determination through a free and fair plebiscite in accordance with UN Security Council resolutions. The timing of this illegal action by India in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic is particularly reprehensible and reflects the opportunistic and morally bankrupt mindset of the RSS-BJP combined. In an attempt to divert world attention from its egregious human rights violations in the Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir, India has once again resorted to indiscriminate and unprovoked firing along the line of control in Khuirata and Nakyal sectors on 17th and 18th May 2020, which resulted in serious injuries to 4 innocent civilians. The Indian occupation forces along the line of control and the working boundary have continuously been targeting civilian populated areas with artillery fire, heavy caliber mortars, and automatic weapons. In 2020, India has so far committed 1,101 ceasefire violations. Voices from around the world continue to condemn the inhuman oppression of the people of Jammu and Kashmir and discrimination against minority communities in India. The UN Special Advisor on the Prevention of Genocide also expressed concerns over increased hate speech, dehumanization, and discrimination against minority communities in India in contravention of international human rights norms and values. He has noted with concern that statements such as those expressed by the Member of Parliament Subramanian Swamy that all people are not equal and that Muslims are not in an equal category as others are extremely alarming. The statement by the UN Special Advisor reinforces our consistent position that hate speech, violent targeting, and a relentless campaign of brutalization against minorities, especially Muslims, are serious and growing problems under the Hindu nationalist BJP government. Pakistan has also welcomed the recent statement issued by the Independent Permanent Human Rights Commission of the OIC, which has strongly condemned and categorically rejected the Indian government's recently introduced Jammu and Kashmir Grant of Domicile Certificate, which seeks to alter the demographics of the Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir and has termed it as settlement colonialism in violation of the OIC and UN Security Council resolutions, the Fourth Geneva Convention, international human rights, and humanitarian law. The OIC statement yesterday has also expressed deep concerns over India's unilateral actions of 5th August 2019 and the subsequent measures it has taken to alter the demographic structure of the Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The OIC has called on the international community to resolve the Jammu and Kashmir dispute as per the UN Security Council resolutions and the aspirations of the people of Kashmir. Separately, as part of his diplomatic outreach, the Foreign Minister Makhdoom Shah Mahmood Qureshi held a telephonic conversation with his Japanese counterpart on the COVID-19 pandemic and its aftermath. The two ministers exchanged views about the socio-economic ramifications of the COVID-19 pandemic and highlighted that the developing countries had to fight on two fronts, that is, containing the virus and staving off starvation. The foreign minister also briefed the foreign minister of Japan about Prime Minister Imran Khan's global initiative on debt relief for developing countries. Pakistan has welcomed the signing of the agreement between political leaders in Kabul regarding the formation of an inclusive government and the High Council of National Reconciliation. At this critical juncture, it is vitally important that all Afghan leaders work together constructively in the supreme interest of the Afghan people and help bring lasting peace and stability to the country, affected by decades of violence and conflict. While reaffirming our abiding solidarity with the people of Afghanistan, Pakistan reiterates its commitment to continue to support a peaceful, stable, united, democratic, and prosperous Afghanistan at peace with itself and with its neighbors. On 18th May, the special representatives on Afghanistan affairs from Pakistan, China, Russia, and Iran held a virtual meeting and exchanged views on the current situation in Afghanistan and the peace and reconciliation process. The joint statement issued subsequently reiterates support for an Afghan-led, Afghan-owned peace and reconciliation process and notes that an end to the long-drawn conflict in Afghanistan was only possible through inclusive intra-Afghan negotiations. In the context of providing relief and assistance to Pakistani nationals abroad, our embassies and consulates continue to work around the clock and facilitate repatriation of our citizens. In the past few days, 445 Pakistani citizens were repatriated from Dubai, 150 from France and other neighboring countries, including Belgium, Italy, and Poland. 105 of our nationals returned from Spain, 250 from Canada, 257 from Iraq, 249 from Sudan, 250 from Jeddah, 237 from Indonesia, and 331 Pakistani prisoners were also brought back from Malaysia. We thank the governments and the relevant authorities there for their cooperation in the smooth repatriation of our nationals. In addition to this, a special PIA flight carrying 274 Pakistani students from the Wuhan city in China also arrived in Islamabad on 18th May. During the period of lockdown in Wuhan, the Chinese authorities took extraordinary measures to ensure the safety and security of the Pakistani students. The government of Pakistan highly appreciates the efforts of the government and the people of China for extending full support and cooperation to our students. As of 20th of May, 32,883 Pakistani nationals have been repatriated from 39 countries. The repatriation process will continue as per the comprehensive plan made in consultation with all stakeholders. Thank you.